Hey, so we're going to be operating on a very confused timeline for now. Um, so basically, the previous video was recorded about a week before this one was, at least the video part of it, because this is part of a two-part session, and the first part of it, I wasn't too happy with the commentary in, so I'm redoing it now in post. The second part, however, I was fine with it, at least at the time. Like, I didn't immediately think, wow, I talked way too much about mildly interesting to me alone work stories. That's weird. Why am I doing this? Meanwhile, the next video was like, I don't know. I didn't immediately regret it afterwards. And I'm mainly just saying this because I do kind of reference the fact that, like, all the commentary here was just dumb work stories. Like, I had a customer who asked if we had Fortnite in stock, or some dumb shit like that. Incidentally, it's been about a week since that video. Since I recorded that, anyway. Maybe not a full week, but it's been long enough to where I have some slightly more interesting work stories, but I don't know, I kind of don't want to talk too much about that right now because I ended up going way too fucking overboard, and I don't trust myself to not do that again. Anyway, this is Yooka-Laylee. Next video is going to be commentary that was recorded weeks prior to this one. So we're going back to the experience of when I was recording Crash and Spyro at the same time and uploading them at the same time, but uploading them in a weird order because I had a different kind of schedule for that because there were two projects going on at the same time. But I can at least talk about what we're doing here. So basically, I kind of did this out of order because we're supposed to like talk to Planker first, but I never do. In fact, I think like the first time I didn't even realize Planker was here until after I had already done this first part. But yeah, basically we just have to knock those things out of the trees and then like pull them to holes before the timer runs out, and you have to do that like 3 times, and yeah. It's like if Super Monkey Ball was bad, I guess. I mean, bad's kind of an overstatement. It's just not, I don't know, not a super interesting objective. You know, it's funny, I say this is my favorite level, and it comes to mind that a lot of the challenges in this level don't really interest me a whole lot. I don't know. I feel like it's mostly carried by the atmosphere and the fact that it's not as confusing to navigate at first as a lot of the other levels. Since, you know, you're kind of just going around in a circle like a lot of the older Banjo levels had you doing. Like, I don't know, sometimes I mention this to people about the old Banjo games, at least Banjo-Kazooie, about how, like, every level has kind of a donut or layered cake shape to it. Nice, I screwed up the challenge already, don't worry. It's not that hard. Yeah, like, where the main level takes place around a sort of central object or central thing. And, beyond that, the layout can be very easily, in like basically every level except for Bubble Bloop Swamp, can be kind of abstracted to just a circle. Obviously there's more to it than that, but that's the basic shape for all of them. Like Mumbo's Mountain isn't really like centered around anything, but you still go around it in a circle anyway. Treasure Trove Cove has the big arch in the middle, and of course the lighthouse on top of that. Clanker's Cavern has the namesake of level, Clanker, in the middle of it. Freezy's Peak has a snowman. Gobi's Valley has one of the pyramids. What was next? Mad Monster Mansion has the mansion. Rusty Bucket Bay has a ship, and Click Clock Wood has the tree. Yeah, Bubblegloop Swamp, of course, is the only one that's kind of an outlier here, because it's more of a collection of kind of connected areas, but it's still kind of small enough to where it kind of doesn't feel that much like an outlier in a sense. Just because, you know, you still know where you're going. And that's kind of a thing that I feel like a lot of what makes Banjo-Kazooie so much easier to get into than a lot of, like, big open exploration-focused games. Especially collectathon platformers where finding shit in the world is, like, the main draw of the game. Like, it just makes Banjo-Kazooie a lot more welcoming in that sense. Just because you're never really lost, because everything's always, you know, connected in such a way that you can tell where you are in the world. Like, there's always a central landmark of sorts to guide your way. And, like, I don't know, I have kind of a weird opinion with regards to Tooie, because I like it more than Kazooie, but I also think that Kazooie is the better game, if that makes any sense. Just because, like, Tooie kind of isn't quite as good about this. Like, it still kind of has that same sort of idea where a lot of levels have something of a central thing to, you know, look for. But it's not quite the same way, and it's not as much of the levels this time. Like, Grunty Industries, I mean, the fact being that there's just a whole lot of stuff in each world, or not each world, in each floor, like, sorry, what am I trying to say here? Grunty Industries is, like, a big example of this, just because, like, I mean, technically it follows the idea, like, the level's a circle centered around a big centerpiece, but that's only, like, the outside area, and most of the level takes place indoors in various different rooms, so it's kind of hard to, you know, see where you're going relative to the whole level. Mainly because you literally can't. It loads into a lot of different rooms a lot of the time. And yeah, Clara doesn't show up again and after this level, and neither does Planker, I'm pretty sure. That sucks. But yeah, I don't know. Grunty Industries is like a big example of this. Ironically, my favorite level in Tooie, Jolly Roger Lagoon, is... Or was it Lagoon? Yeah, it was Lagoon. I always confuse it with, like, the similarly named level from Mario 64. For some reason. But yeah, ironically enough, my favorite level from Tooie is also kind of an example of this. Just because most of the level takes place underwater. But at least in some respect... it's not super easy to get lost in that world, I guess, just because, you know, you're still going along a fairly linear path. But, like, what levels in Tooie even are there that I can think of that follow that same sort of formula that Kazooie had? Mayhem Temple, I guess, but that's more like a string of various different circles. Kind of intertwined. Glitter Gulch Mine definitely didn't. I guess Cloud Cuckoo Land, because, like, you know, it does have that big thing in the middle, even though it's not quite as easy to just, like, look at and know exactly where you are, especially since the level is very disconnected in a lot of other ways. I guess Hellfire Peaks, like, you can just, like, look up at the, like, central thing. Like, just look around, try to find the big volcano or whatever, and see that way where you are in the world. Witchy World is an example. I guess technically Pterodactyl Land is also an example. Although, a lot of people don't really like Pterodactyl Land. I'm okay with it, but I kind of recognize that's largely because, when I first played the game, I was an autistic child who liked dinosaurs, and that kind of colored my opinion on thing. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the big thing with TUI, and I guess there's also the fact that there's a lot more busy work jiggies in TUI, and oh yeah, I forgot I kind of screwed this up a lot. This is a weird objective here. Yeah, I don't know what exactly made Rare decide to go for a less, what's a word, like, structured kind of level design in TUI, but I don't think it was that prevalent in Donkey Kong 64 either, but that was a different team from the Banjo games. Somewhat, anyway. I don't know exactly how different they were, but I know they were, like, I think Donkey Kong 64 was, like, the Donkey Kong B team that did, like, Donkey Kong Country 3, which, I don't know, I think that was partially comprised of the same staff, but not, like, all the way, and I don't think they had quite as much control over it as, you know, because I know the composer is different. Like, David Wise didn't compose Donkey Kong Country 3, at least not originally. I know there was, like, the Game Boy Advance version had a new score that was by David Wise. And that was neat if you're a weirdo who's like, shit, can't believe David Wise only composed 2 out of 3 Donkey Kong Country games. Also, yeah, I did really bad on this one. And I still think Donkey Kong 64 gets a lot more hate than it really deserves, because, I don't know, despite it being, like, easily the most bloated game that Rare may have ever made, I feel like, I don't know, it still has its charm. Honestly, that's probably, like, well, technically it's a game I've already done a Let's Play of, because that was, like, way back in ye olden days of 2010. That was, like, the first Let's Play I had ever completed. It's actually still available on the internet. I'm not going to link it here. Don't watch it. It's atrocious. But yeah, like, oh god, that was like, I was like fucking 14 when I made that. That's insane. That was 10 years ago, too. In fact, more than 10 years ago. I started that in, like, May of 2010. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like, I don't know, I have kind of fond memories of that time, even though I was a stupid idiot kid who didn't know what he was doing. And, like, so I was, like, really proud of myself during those times, because I had a Dazzle, which was, like, unheard of to some degree. Like, less so in 2010, because, you know, everyone got a Dazzle DVC 100 for Christmas 2009, and then made a YouTube channel called, like, Adjective Noun, and started their Super Mario Sunshine Let's Play. and all that jazz. But you know, I still felt really proud of myself because camcorder Let's Plays were still decently popular around that time. It wasn't like, I mean, I joke about like so many people around that time getting a Dazzle for the same Christmas and like doing a Let's Play of the same game as each other. And that still, of course, did happen, but you know, it wasn't the thing everyone did necessarily. It was just really like weirdly common. And I was very proud of myself for having a Dazzle on Christmas 2009 and like having it for May 2010 to do my epic Donkey Kong 64 Let's Play on actual hardware so the game didn't look like complete ass. And the game still looked like complete ass because I was a fucking idiot and compressed the shit out of the video. Like, I think I rendered those videos in like 12p and like 10 frames a second. Yeah, I had like no standards at that age. Honestly, it's kind of weird to think that I had an HD capture card during that period where HD capture cards were kind of a rarity among Let Us Play YouTube channels. Just because looking at the stuff I made like immediately before I got that capture card, it was like unwatchably bad, and it was especially funny because I still had a really shitty tinny mic at the time, so I had beautiful picture quality, beautiful 720p picture quality. I could even do 60 FPS if I, well, if YouTube supported it at the time anyway. And my audio sounded like it was being recorded out of a McDonald's drive-thru window. How did people watch that? It was so fucking jarring going back to those old videos and just seeing how good the video game looked and how shit I sounded. Like, I don't know, it's so fucking weird. But this is like what happens when you're like a dumb idiot teenager trying to make videos about video games in like 2011, and you don't have your own money, obviously, because you're a fucking loser with like no job, because you're fucking 15 years old and have more important things to worry about, like whether people will watch your epic Banjo-Kazooie Let's Play that you canceled like 5 minutes in to start another epic Banjo-Kazooie Let's Play. I've done like fucking 7 Banjo Let's Plays at this point, and none of them have been finished. I think I got close with like one of them, and then that got canceled because reasons. Actually, no, I don't think I've even gotten to like Rusty Bucket Bay in any of them. Yeah, that's weird. Very, very weird. Like, I don't know, the original Banjo, as far as like doing a Let's Play of it, is kind of a cursed game for me, because that's like a very important game for me, and I've never been able to do a full Let's Play of it. And oh yeah, I think I have a full minute left, so I don't think I did the ring challenge, but I wasn't paying too much attention during all this. So okay, yeah, it looks like I'm heading over there now. So yeah, I did a stupid here because, like, in the original commentary, I even specifically pointed out that you get, like, the energy extender in this part of the level, and I just completely forgot to pick it up here. Even though I knew it was here, I just didn't get it for some reason. Incidentally, like, after doing that, I also found out that, if I remember correctly anyway, I forgot the butterfly extender in Glitter Glaze somehow. So yeah, that's the thing. Or was it the butterfly extender or the thingo? Oh, and yeah, over here is like where that one time on the original PS4 version, like during a replay, I had a weird bug where like Banjo, or I just called Yuka Banjo, god damn it. Or like Yuka did the tongue lash, but like, he did it in such a weird way where he didn't like properly lash, so I just like lost control of him for a little while and he like fell like all the way to like the bottom of the world, but not necessarily because he landed on a pipe. But the tongue lash was still in effect, so that happened. And I'm just gonna put it on screen so you can see what's fucking happening there. That's just gonna be what I show you here. Whatever. But, bye.
There's something